So I'd like to welcome you guys to the AI Playground. We just had a fantastic day here. We had a HR and finance event. Giancarlo was very kind enough to come to the event. He was an attendee, also a presenter at the end. You presented about AI and creativity, which I think everybody loved, by the way. It was a really lovely way to end the day. So we just had a day where we talked about what makes a good AI use case, particularly around HR and finance. We then did a hands-on session, and then we finished up with a little bit of networking at the end of the day. So we literally just finished it. It was so cool. It went so quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
I felt it was just like that.
Quick. Yep.
I thought it was going to be a long day, but I can't believe it. It's just sort of, it's just happened.
Yeah, just flew.
Some very simple questions. So first of all, in terms of attendees, any sort of observations? What was interesting about the attendees that you saw today?
I think that the most interesting part, there were two main things, I think. One was, I suppose, the variety of, the companies, the people, and most of all of the business functions. So, there were people coming from all sort of business functions, and it was really fascinating to hear what were the needs and what they think about AI in all their very different business functions that they need to just do during the day. And then the thing that probably I really liked, and I think that was at the same time challenging but also very interesting, is that they weren't technical. There were people that were able, maybe to use, an Excel file or something, but they weren't technical. There were people that were there, but also they were open-minded for that reason. This is why I really liked it, because in theory, AI, it is something that is making everything accessible to non-technical people. So I think it was nice to see that they weren't developers. They were just normal people, that they're running a business. They're part of a big business. And I think that is the most interesting part of it.
It's sort of, we would talk about the democratization of AI.
Yes, exactly.
But it's a bit of a fancy sort of hoity-toity thing. But it was actually genuinely nice to see people like, well, I don't know much about technology, but I'm going to lean in on this. I agree with you. That was really, really.
I think it's one of the main powers of AI. It is one of the few technologies that doesn't need you to be a technologist to be used. So I think it is very powerful, the democratization part of it.
Yeah. In terms of content, there was the way the day was constructed is we sort of did a bit of an education session. We gave some sort of 5 key questions to ask about finding a good AI use case. There was a bit of a preamble to the whole thing, wasn't there? So before we actually got into sort of developing agents and what have you with the team. But in terms of the content in the preamble, was there anything that stuck out for you?
I think that it is very interesting to see, like, there is always this sort of gap between expectation and reality, or, what they think it is possible, what they would like to do versus what actually they should do. So, the idea versus what is actually possible. For example, today in just an hour or something, and I think it was probably one of the main takeaways as well for the attendees, to learn how to join, to bridge this gap. And it was very interesting because, of course, then you had lots of cases on the project queue. So it was very nice to see, all right, okay, you want to do that? Actually, we can show you how we already have done it, how it's covered, and what we have done actually in practice. And I think that was very interesting. And then, you also got something interesting from you guys, because, you were coming up, I think not with one, but with 2 live apps, Good Victor was basically here saying, well, okay, you need an app and just coded an app in real time. Is it where it was working, or actually it's not working? And then they fixed it in real time, and now it's working again. And there were only 40 whatever people there waiting, and actually didn't wait long because, it worked. So, you literally just developed a couple of apps in real time to allow the room to just, show the things and express their votes. And so that was just quite amazing, I think.
I think that's a first for me, actually. Whenever we prepare for a meeting, it's like, oh, here are your slides. You're going to create a slide. It's the first time I've ever been in a presentation where someone says, no, I'm going to create an app for the event. Just for this event. He goes, you know what would be really cool is everybody could get on their phones and put their use case in, and everyone could sort of vote on the use case.
Yes.
And I don't think he was expecting that there would be 80 use cases.
No,
at the time.
definitely, yes. The problem was just that it was very popular. So, there was more than he tested, but it was a brilliant way to rank immediately in a room. Think about the 40 people sending many ideas, and then there is an AI that was literally ranking them and organizing them and grouping them. It is made it very powerful to, just run the event itself.
It did, and he also created an app at the end of the event.
Exactly.
For ranking all of the, so when we actually did the session itself, and kudos to Vic. By the way, Victor's one of our pre-sales engineers.
We should say this phantom figure of Victor.
Victor. So yeah, he's one of our. So he is technical, but he's not like this sort of this crazy sort of developer. He said, no, I can create an app.
Yeah.
And during the event, by the way, that happened during the event. He said,
yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool that we gave everybody's project a name and then you could vote on it? And whilst we were literally sat there, he wrote an app that allowed us to vote, and then everybody went and voted, and then it gave a ranking, and then we gave some prizes out.
Oh yeah.
So this idea that we could not just create slides for an event, but actually an app specifically the event. That is actually the first time in my career I've ever experienced that.
It was very cool.
I thought was very cool.
Yeah, it was.
And thank you for the Project Q stuff. We've worked so hard to sort of, there's so many cool ideas out there, but there was a point in the day where people were going, oh, I've got this idea, and we were able to go, okay, let's see if other people have done this. And I maybe I'm a bit biased, but I felt like those people were going, oh yeah, you're not alone.
Yeah.
If I look at the heat map of ideas, that idea is right in the sweet spot of good ideas, and people were like, oh cool. And they were motivated for the second half.
Yeah, because none of them wanted to reinvent the wheel. Actually, more than one mentioned that. I want to do this, but I don't want to reinvent the wheel. So it was very useful to just you don't need to reinvent the wheel. We already do it, and we know how to do that. So it was very interesting.
So the thing that I would be interested to see, because you go into this, and for those who don't know the agenda, so in the second part of the day, we train everybody. We train on how to use NotebookLM. We train them how prompt engineering, so multi-shot prompting, and we give them all the tools, and they can do anything.
Yeah,
they can go, even embedding Gemini inside a spreadsheet. We showed examples of that. I mentioned NotebookLM, Canvas, the whole thing. So they could do anything they wanted with AI by the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, I found this absolutely, this is HR and finance professionals.
Yeah, and non-technical one.
Non-technical.
That is the key.
What did you take away from the whole the prompt-a-thon?
Yeah. I mean, it is connected with what we were saying before, I think the fact that they all came up with an app. And basically none of them were interested into, chatting and stuff. Maybe they were chatting as a discovery phase, but actually all of them, very non-technical audience, they all came up with an app. And with very interesting apps, not an app that was just showing something, apps where you can upload different files and would show you different dashboards, and it was quite incredible, literally all of them. We've seen, I don't know how many, 20 maybe, or whatever it was the end result of projects. All of them, they were all on, I think everyone was on. There was
everybody but two. One person used NotebookLM, God bless them. But actually, some of them used NotebookLM to create the app.
Yeah,
there was one group that embedded into a spreadsheet, didn't they? They embedded the AI in a spreadsheet. It was one group.
Yes, maybe one, yeah.
So that was like nearly everybody created apps, and I was like blown away by that. I was thinking, we're gonna get 1 million chatbots.
Exactly, I was thinking the same. There's going to be like infinite chats, and maybe something is working, something is not. But actually, everyone decided in the end, what do I need? They all have data, and they all wanted to just act on this data and show them and do something with this data. And so an app, everyone created their own personal dashboard, basically.
Yeah.
For them or for their team or for their company. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. I've never seen, a whole room of non-technical people generating apps.
Do you think there's a reason why that? For me, it felt like it was sort of, I think with something like agents, it's not visible, it's not tangible, it's not predictable.
Exactly, I was about to say.
And in finance, it's sort of like, I don't think finance people like unpredictability. They don't like certainty.
Can't afford it.
By the way, and I'm like, oh, that's finance. HR, I feel it's the same way. It's like, when I'm dealing with people, I can't be sort of messing around. I've got to be serious about it.
You can't be non-deterministic. But there is a message, you said it since the start in the morning. You were saying, if you need something deterministic with AI, then use AI to make an app.
Yes.
That then the app will work always in the same way. I think that was the key, and everyone, I think, got on that. They were all dealing with data.
Yeah.
And they all said, we need like reliable results. And even people, when I was helping, they were telling me, so how do I know that it is working? And I said, can I bypass? Can I give the AI the task to test it? And I was telling them, well, no, you are the AI, you used it, the AI created it, you will test it, but after you've done it, you know that you've done it. Yeah. And you have accelerated, in a week time, maybe, or whatever, something that before would taking, I don't know, maybe months to be prototyped, and teams of developers and whatever. Now you can do that. And they just did it, all of them. Yeah. And they were checking the data, a few tables I talked to, they were checking the data and they were saying, oh, actually, this is working.
Yeah. We Victor on the day and even I said, oh, this is just for prototyping. But a couple of the tables come back and go, no.
Yeah.
This is working.
Yeah, they were asking,
this is actually working.
How do I deploy it? I received one guy was like, how do I deploy this thing? And I was like, you deploy it, click in there, and then you just deploy it.
Yeah.
And I told them, just be careful with it. I mean, just test it with other team, with other people of your team, of course, but it is just ready. If your data is consistent, the output will be consistent.
I can feel that there are IT leadership watching this potentially that are currently having heart permutations and going, my
We're
God.
not starting as a technical
what about security? What about that? So I think, but to be fair, we were like, no, this is just the starting point.
No, exactly. Of course. And we're both technical anyway. We're both starting, we both know what it means. So, we weren't telling them, just make it public.
It's easy peasy.
No, exactly. But the acceleration is incredible.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Any takeaway from the event that you would sort of say, hey, look, there's one or two things that I thought took away from this?
Yeah.
And by the way, for people who are viewing this, one of the things that I think is interesting about having you at this event is number one, when we went into the networking event, it was lovely to hear about how you use in the music that you create, the creativity. But what people might not realize is your day job is talking to organizations, about how to use AI.
How to implement it.
And how to sort of use it. So anyway, so what was your sort of takeaway?
If I can disclose what we were talking about on the train, the lovely, but we were talking about how do we make companies actually implement AI. They all want it, but they're all having the same struggle. I think what was interesting today is that it doesn't matter the size of the company. It can be a startup, an SMB, an SME, or a big enterprise. They're all fighting with the same problem, which is how do we actually implement AI in the company? And I think that today, what we were talking about in the train, we were saying some companies are trying the top down. Yeah. So leadership is saying, we're giving, the chatbots to everyone, and then everyone is going to do whatever they want, they can. Or some of the companies, they're saying, we are telling them what to do. So is it top down or bottom up? And I think we were saying on the train, there is a limit in both of these approaches. In themselves, they're not enough. And today, I think that we have seen actually what happens when you do both at the same time. So the morning, it was a top-down, so you guys were explaining, these are the tools, this is what you can do, this is an example, what are your ideas, I don't know, this one is impossible, this one is lovely, we've already done it, whatever it is. And then in the afternoon, you were saying, okay, now we do, that was the top-down, now let's do the bottom-up. So, now you got the tools, we explain it to you, and we're here, that is the key element, we are here to assist you.
Yes.
And so you are creating that middle level, which I think everyone is missing, because the reality is that once you just do both approaches, that you created that middle level that goes in both directions. And it is why today there was a whole room of people non-technical creating apps and dashboards. I'm a developer. I started as 16 years old, a developer. Something like that will take, I don't know, a day, even 3 years ago maybe. And now a developer or a team of developers. Now people don't need that, and they're just doing it immediately, and it is empowering. I think that what I like is that people felt empowered. I can do it. That's where AI. No one was saying, "Oh, so AI can steal my job." they were saying I can actually make my job better because of that. And I think that was the interesting takeaway. You know, once you join top down, bottom up, that is where the magic, I think, happens.
It was magic, wasn't it? There was a point in the day where, and maybe we'll let the attendees will let us publish this because we need to record it. But I literally, everyone played back at the end of the day what they've developed in Gemini. Now, I want to put this in context. They really only got an hour to do it, didn't they? Which in a way was kind of good because it put them under pressure.
Yes.
But I was like, wow. I mean, the ideas that were coming up, the applications that were being built, I was like, whoa, that's really cool. So
I mean, they know what to do. That's the thing, you know. AI in itself doesn't do anything, but once you join the experience of the people, they know what they need, they know what they do, and they have an instrument. That is, you know, that is the fundamental thing. You know, AI is the knowledge, but the experience it is from the people. And today, they made the magic. It wasn't the AI itself. It is the collaboration between these two, I think.
They did. And you said that as well about creativity. It's not about the AI taking our jobs. It's about the AI augmenting what we're doing from a creativity perspective. I think from a business perspective, it's exactly the same. And in our AI playground, which was where we're at today, we did a little bit to create a safe space for them to do it. And you played a very important part of that. And I want to thank you for the time that
thank you for
the support that you gave everybody and the inspiring talk that you had at the end. So
it was
thank you so much. I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
That's my thing, yes. And
AI is such a heavy subject. We just genuinely had fun today.
Yes, I think it was a very good example of, you know, having, was a good example of having fun, exactly. And everyone understand, I don't know if I can say it, in the Google AI playground, but AI, the problem, everyone understood today why AI, it is very daft and is very useful at the same time. And I think this is when people start, you know, Victor was saying, AI, it is good when you start failing. That slide was the main message. Fail, learn, iterate, and do it again. It is all normal. I always tell people, when you are not good at AI, it is your gold time. Learn, and you can learn a lot. And you know, it all depends on you in the end. The end result, it depends on how good you are. And today they were all fantastic. They all created working apps on complex data. I've seen some of the Excel files that were uploaded, really complex data, and they were all working. So it was brilliant.
Phenomenal. Thank you.
No,
Take care. Much appreciated. Wonderful day.
Yes, it was. Thank you very much.
See you on the next one.